What is the Safety Integration Transformation Summit? You might have heard of it, and I want to talk about what it is and why we're doing it and how you can get involved. So, first of all, I'm going to call it SITS because I can only say what I just said once without getting tongue tied. Easier to write than to say. So, we call it SITS. It's easy to run off the tongue, and if we're not going to say it in full, let's go back to those two key words, integration and transformation. So this brings me back really to why I decided to partner with the HSC Recruitment Network to launch an event like this, because integration and transformation really reflect the two key challenges we have when we're trying to make a difference with health and safety. We may know what we're doing, we may have some great ideas, some great messages, some great systems and procedures. We've defined our behaviours, but the problem is, how do we integrate this into the everyday work? How do we integrate it into the more long term activities and the long term strategy? So, integration is a massive thing. Firstly, because it's the only way to achieve success. And secondly, if we don't integrate it in, then we're just really giving people an extra job to do. And many people, unless we're a health and safety professional, does not come to work to do safety as a job. It should just be part of what they do. And we need to make that easy for people and we need to make it sustainable. And the word transformation is really important. And I know probably some of us have got a bit of transformation fatigue, and I understand why. Because often in an organization, we're trying to transform things, they don't work out because of some of the reasons I've already mentioned. And then people remember how painful it was to try to transform, and their brain says, I'm not doing that again. But transformation is really important because we don't want to be doing safety from one day to the next. We want to be doing it in a way that it really makes a difference. It makes us do things differently. So, transformation suggests behavioral change, it suggests cultural change, it suggests making a long term difference. And usually, when something gets transformed, there's a massive learning along the way, and people feel really good about it. So I've put together this event just so that we can work on those two things. And the key to that is engagement, motivation, and influence. So, what we're going to do is on day one, so we're getting senior health and safety leaders, a very small group, in a room together for 2 days when they're not distracted. And it has to be people that have strategy in their remit, that can decide on the vision and the strategy and go and do something with it, which is the only reason we're suggesting senior level, because of course there'll be a lot of stuff in SITS that will be of interest to everybody. But it's about influencing for the long term and being in that position where you can set the strategy. So, day one is about putting together that strategy, a plan on a page. So, looking at what are the key things that are going to make a difference to get everybody aligned and to make that long term difference and to get everyone feeling differently about health and safety. What are those key things? What do they look like in our organisation? How can we make them clear, hence the plan on the page, and how can we make them actionable? And then what we realise by the end of day one is that's all very well and good, but to make that plan on a page happen, we have to have some influencing skills. And I'm not saying you don't already have influencing skills, but influencing is getting harder and harder. So you really need to be on the top of your game. And when I say influencing, I mean influencing for good. So in day two, we're going to look at ourselves personally. What are our strengths and our blind spots? What do other people need from us? What are the key challenges we face in communication? And how can we make a bigger difference and be more influential for that integration and transformation we want for something that is really going to make a massive positive difference? So, if you're interested in attending SITS, how can you get involved? Then I'll put a link below. You can see the details there and just get in touch because there's an event coming up very soon somewhere near you. Thanks for listening.